into season 3 of Other Duties as Assigned. Pretty excited to start a new season. I've got big news. I've been recently named the new principal at Plainfield High School, beginning in the next school year. And so I'm going to adjust my plan for the season 3, and we're going to jump right into this topic today, which is going to be making a transition and what that's looking for, like for me, real time. And I want to talk a little bit about that in today's episode, about making the transition from being an assistant principal to a principal in the first week. And as I'm living it and breathing it, I figured what better way to kind of share my thoughts and what's going on in my world, and how that may be helpful for others. So I've been in my role, if you've been following the episodes, I've been in my role as an assistant principal for 11 years. And our current principal is retiring at the end of the year. And so I accepted the position and was approved by the school board to be the next principal at Plainfield. And so that means for me, lots of things. There's lots of things going on in my brain. I'm making the transition from being a part of an administrative team to leading an administrative team, and that's a huge difference. And now it's not necessarily my job to, in the past I've always thought of myself as, I had ideas and helped with the vision of what we were doing as a school, but now it's really going to fall to me kind of leading that vision and leading the, hey, here's what we're going to do, and then maybe having to take a step back a little bit from some of the logistical things and from some of the actually executing that plan, because now I'm not going to have that. I'm going to be pulled in a lot more directions. I'm already noticing being pulled into a lot more meetings and a lot more discussions about planning in the next school year. So, where my role before was kind of executing the plan, the principal comes up with the plan with his team, and then it's my job as an assistant principal to kind of bear that plan out. Now I'm in a little bit different role, and that's kind of exciting. And I'm very excited about how we start creating that. So I'm already thinking about ways to kind of further the vision and further the things we've been doing at Plainfield. And those were always kind of in the back of my mind, and things that maybe I didn't want to suggest or we weren't ready for, or but now I'm thinking about what's the next progression of what we're doing and how do I help bring those things forward. And I think that's what I'm most excited about, is how do we keep moving things forward. There's a lot going on in Indiana with the new diploma requirements and what those things look like and how that's going to impact our school structure as we move forward. So that's exciting. But also just little things about how we keep high levels of rigor and demands for our students while making curriculum relevant and meaningful and all of those things. So, a lot of what I'm doing right now is brainstorming and prioritizing, coming up with what are the things that I want to see us do next year, while also doing my job in this moment right now. And it's funny, I was talking to someone the other day, and I mentioned, that's not new. That's part of my job in doing the master schedule. Part of my job and has always been to finish up a school year while also planning for the next school year. And so that's not changed. That's going to be the same for me now. But, I'm finishing up this school year in my role as an assistant principal, and then starting to plan for next year in my new role as a principal. And so as I think through those things and I start those plans, I'm creating lists of what needs to happen for next year. What are the priorities? And then I'm kind of triaging that list. What has to happen right now? What can I put off for, say, after spring break? And then what can I put off to the summertime? And the summertime, to me, you have to be very careful as an administrator, especially a newer administrator. Summer feels like it goes on forever, but it doesn't. There's so oftentimes I have fallen victim to, oh, I'll do that in June. Oh, I'll do that in July. When I get to June and July, I've got so many things that I've put off to the summertime, can't get them all done. And so, you still need to you can't push everything to the summer. And so kind of prioritizing, kind of chipping away at those lists of things, maybe creating frameworks, doing some brainstorming, putting some things in place so that when you do get to June and July, you can get those things done. I think that's important. So I'm working through that part of the process. In my situation, because I'm moving into the principal's chair, I now have to fill my chair. And so I'm trying to find, and I'm going through that assistant principal hiring process. We're going to talk in a couple episodes, we're going to focus on hiring and retainment and development of staff. And that's going to be a couple episode series I'm looking forward to coming up in the future here, because we're kind of in that hiring season. And so I won't spend too much time on that with the assistant principal's role, but just know, you're trying to find, a great addition to a team. And it's so important. Every hire you make for your building at any level is really important, because those are people you're trusting to help move your vision forward, help to make great experience, the best high school experience for your students. And so I think that's really important and a big part of what we're trying to do right now. Excuse me. So that's part of this process for me as we move into my second week as the principal-elect. I'm trying to think about those processes. I'm having conversations with. I met with the school board right before I was approved and kind of shared my vision and what was important to me. I've met with our superintendent, our assistant superintendent. I've started conversations with our current administrative team about kind of my vision and the direction I see us going. I was introduced to our staff the next morning after being approved, and I got to thank them and how proud I am to be part of this group. And that was really exciting. And I will start to lay out for them over the next few months kind of what my vision is for us moving forward, how we build on all the successes we've had. And I'm going to also do that with our students and start to talk to them about kind of how we keep pushing Plainfield High School forward. And I think that's really important, is to have that vision of continual improvement. And how do you convey that? How do you get everybody on board with that plan? And that's an important part of our role. So I've created a list. I've prioritized that list. I've started to have some of those kind of key conversations. I've got lots more of those to do, both in our building and in our community. I sent one of the things I did in preparation, as soon as I was approved, the next day I sent an email or sent a correspondence to all of our students and parents, not only in our building, grades 9 through 12, but also the 8th graders, the upcoming freshman class, and just introducing myself, telling them how excited I was for this position and kind of how we were going to keep moving forward. And, I wanted them to be as excited about this as I am, and I couldn't be more excited. And so, we're going to continue to do great work in this building, and I'm excited for that. But it's crazy to think, ended season 2, I was the assistant principal, and now as we go into season 3, I'm moving into a new role. I'm going to have new perspectives to share, and I'm kind of excited to have that opportunity too. This conversations, these discussions, I'm going to continue to bring on more folks for them, but I think it's an important part of what we do. So I appreciate you for tuning in as we start season 3 and me getting to share my good news with you. And then we'll continue to move forward with future episodes. Our next episode is going to tackle construction and what all that entails, and what that, some of my insights as we've dealt with a major construction remodel project here for the last year or so. Thanks again, and we'll talk to you soon.